going into the next round, round number 3. Okay, question is, which is the worst singular superpower? Okay, you can refer to this in existence. I really like you guys' choices for these. I think this will be a much better round for all of you because you guys all picked the really good ones. So that said, we're going to start with Aaron, and then we're going to come over there, and we're going to go from here. So once you can actually start, and I'll get the time up.
Oh, okay. Well, mine's is from the Legion of Superheroes, Bouncing Boy's body inflation. Okay. Because it's just stupid.
What? I mean, for those of us who don't know, what exactly does it mean?
All right. Well, Bouncing Boy himself is I don't want to say obese, but he's kind of he's a big guy.
He's a heavy dude.
Yeah, he's a heavy dude.
It's like a superpower.
Basically, what he does is he just wraps his arms to the sides of his body, and he just bounces towards you. Yeah, and like one of his greatest weaknesses is like if you punch him back, he just bounces all the direction, and you can't stop it for the most part.
So it's not even like control over the door. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like I inflate.
He'll ricochet and
he'll ricochet. Yeah, no, that's
like
he's not bowling ball man. He's bouncing.
Lucha. So all right. So Michael.
I picked. Oh, this is a mouthful to say. I love this. Pyrotechnic energy plasmoid projection, and that. Plasmoid projection. See, I'm already messing it up, and that's Jubilee from X-Men. Okay, this power is so dumb because it doesn't. I feel like half the time it doesn't even affect anything because like you see it when most of the time like the best display of these powers is like the 90s X-Men animated series show, and the most I've ever seen her do is like push a Sentinel back, and it's like, and the Sentinel's always like, what? You know.
So what does that do? Like, it's
like,
those of us who don't know.
It's like literally energy plasma, like literally the energy that's like in a firecracker. Like it's literally that. It's
so can it burn you?
It's shown to do that because it has like blown like pieces like off a Sentinel. Like,
ow.
Yeah, but but again, like everybody sort of gets up and like, oh, that was okay, I'm fine. You know, like it's really weird. Like with Cyclops' eye blast, they're concussive, but you can break ribs. But
So what I picked was reincarnation specific to your person. Now I chose South Park's Kenny because he is the only example, and what it is basically Kenny reincarnates similar to Michael's choice in the last round, except he can only be himself. In his body, born to his parents, wherever they are. So, basically, his parents have a kid, and Kenny dies, and he becomes that kid. And that's all. He can only ever be himself. He's always the same person. That's it. That's all that happens. And I assume that when his parents dies, that's it. Because he's... The reincarnation is tied to his parents birthing him beforehand. Like, slightly beforehand, like an hour or two before. So, I assume that when his parents die, that's it. And, you know, he has to keep... It's weird. But, yeah.
Fight it out.
So, the reason why... No, I got Aaron... So, Aaron, yours was inflation. Yours was inflation. Bouncing Boy. See, the thing that I like about inflation is that if he does it right, he can still mess things up, you know? He can still crush you. Because at the end of the day, you know, he bounces, he can't control it, but that's still a person falling on you. Yeah. So if he really doesn't like bully guy from 8th grade, sees him on the street, bam, done. Cool, just keeps walking, just keeps bouncing, and destroys his house. And then he laughs as he keeps going down through the neighborhood, destroys everything. Your thing about pyrotechnic energy plasmoid projection is that Jubilee, you said that she could blow pieces off a Sentinel. Now, keep in mind, Sentinels are giant robots made to capture mutants who can destroy cities. So
it's not stopping them.
Yeah, but they're very strong. They have artificial intelligence. They're pretty dumb though, but they're pretty strong and they're pretty well built. And Jubilee knocks pieces off them. Now, I can't think of anything.
I'd rather have your power than the plasmoid projection.
But look, if it can blow pieces off of a Sentinel, you don't want to be in front of that. So when Bully from 8th grade comes up, Jubilee smacks him in the face and his head's off. Burning. Really useful. With reincarnation specific to your person, that's pretty weird, right? Because you die, but you're only yourself. You have to grow and be.
Yeah, but you sort of get like an omni knowledge type of thing.
Yeah,
you
true.
get mad knowledge. Think about this. No, think about this. Legitly. You die and you still retain all the knowledge of all the past events that ever happened in your life ever.
But how many times can you do that? Probably twice or maybe 3 times.
But still, like, even...
And what happens if you die and then your parents are like, well, I don't want to have another kid that's just going to get run over?
Well, you chose specifically Kenny as
specifically
your
Kenny, yeah.
So within that realm,
right.
it happens with Kenny.
It happens a lot. So he's been born again a lot of times. But reason why he keeps coming back is because his parents are stupid and keep having kids and never notice it. But you know, in real world circumstances, and we're arguing the power, not anything else. If you die and then they birth another kid and you become that kid, cool, you have double the knowledge. You just blaze through grade school. In high school, you die again. Your parents aren't probably going to get another kid again.
Yeah, but
so that's it. You get one.
But the thing is, you're talking about Kenny specifically. We know he doesn't die just once.
Kenny is an example.
Okay.
But we're talking about the power. So in Kenny's world, it makes sense. Because Kenny's parents are stupid. Okay. But parents generally aren't stupid. And if your kid dies more than once or twice, you're probably not going to try again.
I mean, who's to say you're going to die again? That's a mighty big if.
Yeah, but what if you do? Like, what if you get born again and you're a specific person and John from down the block, because he used to know you before, sees you again and says, but I thought you died. How are you going to explain that?
What if? I mean...
And with inflation, again, that can be useful. For example, if you're inflation, you're bouncing boy, if you don't want to be a supervillain or a superhero, you can go in the circus and you have a lifelong career.
Okay,
here's the thing about Bouncing Boy. First, he's in the Legion of Superheroes, and he's sort of I'm not gonna say anything. But his powers, for the most part, can only work on indoors. Like, you're not gonna go in the woods with inflation. It just won't work. You won't go anywhere else.
Circus, though. We bounce around.
All right, yeah, but you won't go anywhere else except for the circus and close quarters
technology.
And when you go,
but he can never drown. Like, think about that.
Yes, Titanic would not stop him. He would just say, "Everybody, grab onto my shirt."
Wow.
And then he becomes Bouncing Boy, and he bounces back to England or America or whatever.
That is the best example.
He bounces over the iceberg.
Well, you can't.
And Jubilee has pyrotechnic powers. Fire. She could just blast the iceberg. Kenny just dies.
I mean, but he comes back.
What if his parents were on the boat? What if they die too, and the person he was gonna go into?
That's a mighty big.
What happens?
That's a mighty big.
What happens?
That's a mighty big.
What happens though? What if you say, "Yo, I got all this money because I died once before, so now I have all this knowledge. I got a really cool job because of it. Let's go on a cruise."
Okay, but
let's all go on a cruise. It's gonna be awesome.
Hold up, getting off track. Just to rebuttal what you said, even if Jubilee does blast the iceberg, you're still on the Titanic.
See, but look,
still
the reason why I feel like my choice, reincarnation, specific to your person, in Kenny's case, is worse, is because you have to now protect your parents, and it'll only work tops maybe twice. With inflation and with pyrotechnic energy plasmoid projection, they work in any...
You don't have to say the whole thing.
They work in any cases, and they're useful all the time. What happens if you get stuck in a forest and you're like, oh, where's the fire? Don't worry. Blam. Got it. Inflation, I'm stuck in a forest. Inflation, bounce out the forest.
Yeah, I kind of want to hear as to why inflation is so much.
I'm not saying he inflates as in a big hot air balloon. He just turns himself into a ball.
And bounces.
Yes.
He
doesn't
you realize he can't drown.
He will bounce out the forest.
Sure, he can't drown, but
okay,
how long is he stuck at water?
Okay, well, why is yours worse than theirs?
Mine's is worse than yours. Alright, because first off, alright, like you said, when you reincarnate, you actually have knowledge of what happened. You can blaze through grade school, whatever. You have fire. I don't care how sucky it is.
He has fireworks.
Fireworks.
Yeah.
That's still cool.
This isn't a rebuttal for anything. I just need to say this is that both of you can go into the circus. I can't.
I mean, but even so, like, my powers are too show-offy. Again, like, within her world, it's not a good power.
The best powers are show-offy. Look at eye beams. You can't just do it subtly. You blend.
But
It's
like I
everywhere.
was saying, in the context of Jubilee's world and the world she lives in, it's not very useful.
I mean,
at
but
all.
like, if you're in 8th grade and your friend says, "Oh, I can do a handstand. I can split. What can you do, Jubilee? Burn everything."
Yeah, but if you're in 8th grade, I've died and I have more knowledge than everybody in this
Also,
classroom.
my parents are very depressed.
Hey, I'm alive. I'm alive.
Every time I look at you, Kenny, you look like the other 5 people that died.
I mean, again, that's not a bad thing. I can graze through life. That's very subtle. Jubilee, not so subtle. I can call attention off. I can, like, yo, I'm a new person. I look like that past guy, but I'm a new dude.
But keep in mind also this: your parents now have to continually look at you and see the person that died before. With regular reincarnation, no one has to suffer. But now you're making your parents suffer. Do you want your parents to suffer?
That's them, not
Do
me.
you want your parents to suffer?
That's them, not me.
Wait, hold on.
I'll be fine. I'll be reincarnated.
What year is Legion Super? That's 3000, right?
Yeah, sure, whatever. It's 9 seconds. Whatever.
I
The far
I don't
future.
care. No, I give up. It's cool.
I love this.
I tried to talk. I kept getting cut off.
I will say this. And this is... It's not going to help your argument. It never does. Your interpretation of Bouncing Boy's powers, and this is because you're not really aware of the character, not entirely right. His mass doesn't increase. It's not like your example of 8th grader and just like bam, smash him and then smash his house. It's roughly the equivalent of me like running down the block and like shoulder tackling you. Like it's gonna hurt, but it's not gonna. You're gonna get back up. You're gonna dust yourself off. Like wow, you're a jerk. But it does. And he's not invulnerable. He's feeling those hits just as much.
Oh, then that hurts.
And he can drown.
Okay.
Like, he's still a ball. If he just kind of floats sideways, and his head is underwater, his head and arms don't inflate. His body does. So
only his body.
Yeah, no, just his torso kind of. He holds his arms in so that he can bounce like a ball.
I'm so happy you answered that. I was actually going to
that is a bad topic.
Yeah, no.
Why didn't you bring
He
that up?
can feasibly drown.
I was trying to, but you guys kept cutting me off.
Well,
You gotta
see,
fight
that's why
for it.
no. That's
Oh
why
my God, no.
So they're...
Well, actually, all right. So I can lay my cards out because I already have a pick for that because. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So.
Oh my God.
All right. Yeah.
Well, hold on. I got one other kind of point.
What's up?
Kenny's parents know that that's how Kenny kind of comes
Do they?
back.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch that
It
event.
doesn't.
I
It
thought
doesn't
so.
go against your argument, per se. Because nobody really addressed the question of, well, if your parents know, like, would they be okay with
Again,
it?
because it's not a problem.
All right.
Well,
that's for them.
But okay.
For
So,
me, you mean?
well, all right, guys. So ultimately, in the interest of time, just kind of breaking it down, you kind of hit his argument really hard with, number one, you have a lot of knowledge you'll be able to gain, and then what if you don't die? Because the fact of the matter is, I mean, like you said, Kenny's an example. It's not specific to Kenny.
Right.
The character trope, the humor is that Kenny always dies.
Right.
But like, if you
People
have
don't die
that,
that
you know what I'm saying? Like, you should still be able to live a full life. And if your life was to get cut short before, without having that power, you would still just die. Whereas now you have the opportunity to come back.
I come back as me.
So I feel like the way you kind of hit him with like you painted a better picture of that. Than, like I'm like,
I
okay,
was the
that actually
pessimist.
wasn't that.
He was the optimist.
Yeah, that was actually a better power than I thought it was gonna come out. So that kind of knocked you out of it. And then they both kind of hit you with the, like when you gave the point about the hurting sentinels. I thought honestly my understanding of the power, because I was familiar with all the powers, but I actually thought she just made pretty lights. I thought it was like
it's
so it can actually do something.
Yeah.
So it does have a use. Just
Yeah.
I think that her power in comparison to the rest of the X-Men, especially like in the 90s cartoons.
Yeah.
What are you doing there? Like
Yeah.
you're a child. So I can see why you would pick that, but in that regard, it's like
So you're telling me?
fireworks,
Okay, I'll wait.
hurt sentinels. Like, I mean, it's not, it's flashy, it's not as useful, but it still does have some use, and they both hit you with that kind of thing, where she said you could join the circus, you got fire. My dude can't even not drown. Like that, because that
argued the least. I am so tired.
You know what?
Did you make that point?
Funny enough,
I was trying to,
you
but I
guys
kept getting cut off.
no. Well, the fact that's what introducing the facts.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
If part of your argument is inherently flawed,
then
it's my job to point out the inherent flaw in you.
Exactly, because if like even the point about crushing your enemy, then I'm thinking, oh, okay, that's an interesting concept, but the mass doesn't change, which I thought too, but I'm like, I'm not taking that.
If he's 110 pounds, when he inflates, he inflates. He doesn't get a mass increase to go along with it.
You know, not to mention, really with, you know, and those were the only positives that I could have put with it. I really have written down, can crush houses and can't drown. And you know, neither of you.
I was gonna bring up the kinetic energy thing.
You know, not to mention
this guy.
But that, I mean,
it would still kill him if he doesn't. If he doesn't gain
really
mass also.
limited to the fact that he simply bounces around, and the fact that his body changes to accommodate, but it doesn't allow him to control the ricochet. It does not really. It's no added advantage to it. There's no strategic. There's nothing strategic to it. There's no degree. In interest of time, I'm just gonna, you know, obviously put it out there. Yeah, Aaron gets the point.
He didn't even argue.
I think, you know what, sometimes, like, depending on where your argument's going, it either digs you into a hole or, like, leaves you.
He said what he needed to say.